It's another Pulsar from Bajaj Auto. And at first glance, you may be fooled into thinking that it's the 150cc Pulsar Neon. But in fact, this is now the most affordable model in the Bajaj Pulsar family, and it now gets a 125cc engine. Meet the all-new Bajaj Pulsar 125. And it shares almost every single bit with the Pulsar 150 Neon, including the bodywork, chassis and cycle parts.
Now, the Bajaj Pulsar 150 is the undisputed leader in the 150-160cc motorcycle segment in India, and it has an almost untouchable fan following, selling over 65,000 motorcycles every single month. And now Bajaj Auto wants to replicate that success in the 125cc motorcycle segment with this, the new 125cc Pulsar.
The Pulsar 125 looks more or less identical to the Pulsar 150 Neon, and that's because almost every single component is shared with the bigger Pulsar 150 Neon, and it also has the exact same dimensions. So, is that a good thing or bad? Owners of the Pulsar 150 may not welcome that, but the fact is that this 125cc Pulsar looks bigger and muscular than anything else in its segment. It's heavier than any other 125cc motorcycle and boasts of having the longest wheelbase in its segment.
Now, the 125cc motorcycle segment has 53% of customers who are first-time motorcycle buyers, and as many as 36% of those buyers are below 30 years of age. So that's the target audience of the Pulsar 125. Young adults, students and even young professionals. So this one, the Pulsar 125, is targeted at people who are looking for the thrill of a Pulsar but looking for more affordability and fuel economy. So the Pulsar 125 will go up against the likes of the Honda CB Shine and the Hero Glamour. But does it have the genes to justify the Pulsar name? That's what we'll try to find out with a brief ride today of the new Pulsar 125.
On the move, it's immediately apparent that the Pulsar 125 feels quicker and more eager to sustain higher speeds than any other 125cc motorcycle. That's because the engine is derived from the Pulsar 150s with the exact same bore but with a shorter stroke. And that translates to peppy acceleration and decent pulling power. 80 km per hour is achieved on the highway without any effort, and it can go well over 100 km per hour.
Well, so the Pulsar 125 not only looks like the Pulsar 150 Neon, but in fact, it's almost completely like the Pulsar 150. And the engine itself is also derived from the Pulsar 150's engine, but this one's got a shorter stroke. And this one, the 125's engine, is the most powerful in its segment, making about 11.8 bhp at 8,500 rpm and 11 Newton meters of torque at 6,500 rpm. Well, yes, it's torquey, very grunty, and within the city it accelerates quite fast, quite nice to ride actually. And even on the highway you can hold at about 80 kilometers per hour without really the engine feeling any strain. So overall, I think this one makes a really good case. It got the looks of the Pulsar 150, but if you're primarily riding in the city, this one won't leave you disappointed with its performance. So quite likable actually, good ride quality. We went over potholes, we went over little broken roads here, and the ride quality is taut. It's quite nice to ride. And if you're riding primarily in the city, like I said, commuting duties, it's got decent acceleration, feels quite peppy actually. So quite a nice bike overall.
The Pulsar 125 is just 4 kilos lighter than the Pulsar 150, and the added weight actually gives it a sense of solid stability rather than mar its performance. And that stability translates to very good ride quality too, especially over broken terrain. The only downside is the slightly rubbery feel on the gear shifter, but that isn't quite a deal breaker.
It's the newest 125cc motorcycle, the new Pulsar 125, and this one Bajaj will try to shake up the 125cc segment and take a huge slice of those volumes. Now Bajaj claims in real world this one will give you about fuel economy of around 45 to 50 kilometers per liter, and of course this one claims, and of course the figures are highest in terms of performance. The power is the highest in its segment, the torque is highest in its segment, and it looks big. It's heavier than the other 125cc segments. All that remains to be seen is how well it does, the new Pulsar 125.
The Bajaj Pulsar 125 has a smooth, refined and decently powerful engine. The excellent ride quality and impressive stability only enhance its capabilities as a well-rounded commuter motorcycle. The only dampener is that the design looks much too common and identical to the Pulsar 150 Neon, and is just about 6,000 rupees less expensive than the 150. But that could well be the Pulsar 125's USP of having the same exciting performance but in a more fuel efficient package. Whether that works to make it the new king of the 125cc segment though remains to be seen.